Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Today is going to be part 2 of the manifold and carb swap. So today we are going to actually get that manifold on, and there's going to be a few issues as far as fitment goes and a little bit of incompatibility. Hopefully it works all right. So get that on, bolt it down, and then we're going to stick the carb on top. So now we've got to prepare the engine for the new manifold. So I've taken some paper towels, laid them in the valley, and we're going to take some Scotch-Brite and just clean up those mating surfaces. We want that to be nice and clean. Now you could use a Scotch-Brite roll-lock disc on a die grinder, but that makes a lot of mess. And I don't really want dust everywhere, so I'm just going to do this by hand, and then we'll be ready for the gasket. Alright, got it all cleaned up. Now it's time to lay our gaskets in. Got my Permatex high-tack, basically a fancier version of the gasket cinch from Edelbrock. And then I've got these guys, which if you have an Edelbrock or aftermarket intake, they want you to throw these away and just put a big like worm of RTV on the wall. We're not doing that because we're using a factory gasket, so using a factory manifold, so we're going to use the factory gaskets. And I'm not 100% sure if you're supposed to do this, but I'm going to put a little bit of the gasket sealer on there, and then basically they want you to paint it around the outlets for the water. And I'm also going to just do a dot on in the middle, because that's also what they recommend. You don't want to go overboard with it, you just need it to hold itself in place. And this stuff is super goopy. Definitely want to take care of it near the water passages, because the last thing you want is for a water leak in the a water leak in the manifold, because that means you're gonna milkshake your oil. And remember that just because the front is where the water actually goes, it still passes to the back, it's just blocked off. So make sure you seal those up. Alright, that should be it for that. They do want you to, a couple dots in the middle. They do want you to let it sit for about 5 minutes or so. Alright, so that's it for now. They do want you to let it sit for about 5 minutes, so we're gonna do that, and then we can stick our gaskets on. Alright, it's been a little while. Now, time to lay the gaskets down. So that guy's gonna go on here, like so. This guy is going to go back here. They really only go one way, it's pretty obvious. Alright. Now's when you put the RTV in the corners. I'm going to put a little splooge of RTV in each corner. Alright, now I'm going to lay them in, this side up. These little tangs fit in the pockets on the little rubber seals. So we just make sure that all of our holes are lined up. That's going to just sit there. And that guy's going to sit right there. Just kind of hold everything together. And just for good measure, I'm going to add a little more RTV on those top joints. So there's probably enough left to just kind of mush it a little bit. Just going to put a little dollop. Yeah, basically, I can never remember if you're supposed to put it before or after you place the main gaskets down. So we'll just do a little before and a little after. And you know, worst case scenario, it splooges out. You never really want to use too much of your silicone, because you don't want to make a big mess, and you don't want chunks of silicone, you know, falling inside. So now, it's the moment of truth. I'm going to plop this guy on, and hopefully I don't ruin everything. It's oh, don't tell me. This guy is hitting this little heat riser shield in here, so I guess I need to take that little heat riser shield off. So this heat shield guy was in the way. The annoying thing is I just cleaned it up and put it back on. Okay, so attempt 2. Again, I'm going to make sure that everything is nice and ready to go. I'm not going to do anything weird. Take the manifold. And sink it down. That looks good. Okay. It's sitting a little weird. Darn it. So, that weird little breather thing, I think, is a problem. Okay, I removed that big can in the back. I don't think I need it because it looks to be some sort of crankcase PCV breather thingy. This little guy goes to this hose, which is completely capped, so that's not doing anything. So I'm going to ignore it. I just applied fresh silicone to the corners. I also learned that the tacky stuff does not stick to the rubber. The factory gaskets, I believe, were cork, and that might have actually done something. So now it's time to take our heavy-ass manifold and plop it on for like the third time. Despite the shiny color, this is cast iron. It's just painted. So, yeah, it's heavy. But that sat down nice. So now we can start with our bolts. Alright, got this guy down for about the millionth time. I guess one of the really important things to do is never trust anything on the internet. These guys said intake manifold bolts, small block Chevy. They even have the right, no they don't have the right size head, they're a 1/2 inch head. Should be an 9/16. But these are 5/16 bolts, and these are supposed to be 3/8. So what we're going to do is torque this guy down. And by torque I mean by hand. I've got the bolts kind of started with a ratchet. Torque spec is allegedly about 30 foot-pounds. And basically what we're going to do is start with this middle bolt on the passenger side, on the that is the odd numbered or the even numbered side, and we are going to just basically go in a spiral. So there, then there, and so on. According to the internet, it's about 30 foot-pounds for a cast iron manifold, probably a little less for an aluminum one. But there's no way, heck, I'm going to have a torque wrench that actually fits in here. I can barely fit a ratchet most of the time, just because of the shape. So, just the old wrench and go by feel. And I probably could get a torque wrench on some of these, definitely not all. Alright, now just go through again. And of course this guy, the ones you first start with, loosen up a little bit. The last person that put a manifold on this probably just went one and done. It didn't go back through. Because basically as you tighten it down, the later ones, it relaxes the first ones. So, you know, since I tightened these ones again, these are loose. So, just go in a circle, take your time. Cool. We are good. So that is manifold installed. Next thing I'm going to do is clean up and do those valve covers. Then we can plop the carb on. Unfortunately, the carb is in pieces, so I'm going to take care of that. And probably won't show you any of it because I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm going to rebuild that. Hopefully it works. and stick it on. And if it doesn't work, you'll see me sticking an Edelbrock on here, which would be backwards because this is a spread bore intake manifold. Edelbrocks take square bore, so I should have put a square bore on if I planned on using the Edelbrock, but I don't. So I've got the I'll be doing the Quadrajet, and well, maybe I'll just pay and get it rebuilt if I screw it up. Anywho, gonna try my hand at that, and then we'll get back. All right, carb is ready to go on, but before I do that, let's stick that distributor in. So, got the distributor, got a fresh oil seal, and basically all I'm going to do is plop it in the hole. I've got my marks made right there, and it needs to be just a little bit over like that. That way, as it goes down, those spirals are going to catch it, and hopefully will also catch the oil pump drive, because, well, we need to do that, or else it won't go in all the way. Alright, and it was basically in this orientation, with the can kind of off to the side. Is that right? I'll have to double check. I swear it was more like this, but I'll double check. It might have been like that. But yeah, basically that's it. Now I just gotta clamp it down. So that seems a little wrong to me. If I had this pointed a little too much that way, like one more tooth over, this can would be hitting the manifold. So that's I guess where it's going to be. I hope I don't have any weirdness if there's a difference in height for the distributor. If there is, then I will know when I take the oil pump off, because, well, it won't engage. So we're going to put the clamp back on, and distributor will be locked down. And there we go. Okay, so I just got the cap on, got those vacuum lines hooked up with hose clamps, installed the bimetallic choke, so that's going to actuate our choke linkage. Now, just got to stick that carb on. Going to start with the base gasket. I've also got two studs in there. Those are going to hold the back. Then we can finally stick this guy on. And I've got two fasteners on the front side. So I forgot the length of actual bolts, but these seem to be about right. And these should be half inch. Yeah, they are. Alright, and the rear, there's two studs in there. I'm going to put some nuts on there. But before that, we've got to put our linkage on. And I don't have a good factory cable stop, so I got this aftermarket doohickey. It goes over the one stud on the back. This should be for the throttle cable, and this should be the kickdown. I'm going to have to finagle something with the throttle because it's got this weird aftermarket thing, though it might just work. So I'm going to stick that on and go from there. And now we've just got to make our connections. So I've already got I haven't put the fuel filter back in. But I'm going to just take some of the stuff off of the old carb to adapt it to this guy with an external filter. Choke is going to go to wherever it lives in there. Yeah, it's going to live in there like so. Then I've just got to finagle the transmission kick down into its spot, and then the throttle cable, which I did actually notice has sort of a factory setup to it, so that's not the end of the world. It'll just go in there like so, and then I'm going to need to finagle something for this because this isn't long enough, so I'll rig something up. It might be with baling wire, at least for now, and I'll buy a factory cable because inside isn't much better. So yeah, just gonna make those connections, and carburetor will be on and ready to go. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for today. Next time we're going to get those valve covers on, take a look at the oil pump, and hopefully get it running. But before we do that, let's cover up these valve covers. But before I do that, let's cover up these cylinder heads. With some valve covers. So got the strip,